So what I think I'm going to do is, because I feel I got too fat during that cruise, and then AJ wants me a mini diet, then he doesn't, then my appetite sucks, then it doesn't. My appetite was great during that cruise when I was leaner, and I just think I'm as soon as my body count gets off, my appetite tends to fuck a bit. So my idea is, come January and February, hard diet, so I get lean. Similar to what me and Deck have done, just crash down lean.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Do you know
I'm
what?
really,
Do you know what, Hilly? I think your master might be primo, isn't it, Riz?
yeah. And then what?
You lot keep laughing. Don't worry. Wait till Dave Crossan pulls out the testing lab.
Yeah, and then I'm going to do the same as what I did with you and Cameron this year. I managed to really tweak his food, so we held body composition fantastically and grew over time. And what I was doing was putting high days 2 days of the week, followed by another training day. So just training 4 days of the week, and then leaving the other 3 days quite low. So I'm going to get lean. While I get lean, I'm going to bring this DHB in to keep my drug load the same, just to play about with that, so I can see if that really does seem to have the beneficial recomp effect that Tofton mentioned. And then once I'm lean, because I know I can be dead lean and be good on my food, especially with having Aralina now and me going from being flat out with her half the week to flat out with work half the week, I'm just going to then spend the rest of the year slowly growing, but see how lean I can stay while I do that. So that's going to be the goal, I think.
I tell you what's going to happen. He's going to get lean, and he'll ring up Ryan Rhino. Oh, should we go to Ibiza?
And then pie that itself.
That's it. I guarantee you any money, bro.
No
They
party
come back 1 week out because he's just filled with pills and gammon.
Yeah.
What were you? Where will you put those high days, Hilly? Would that be around like your weaker body parts, areas you want to bring up, or?
Yeah. So AJ just seems to have this thing where he puts the high days on leg day. So, and then I rest after it technically, and I just feel it's a waste. I understand why he does it. I've said this before. It's the highest output day, so he puts the high days in there. I've discussed this with him when we've pulled it. Because of my slow gastric transit, I can get away with a high day when I'm dieting. But trying to put 1,200 grams of carbs away on a Wednesday when my food's already between 4,000 or 5,000, it just fucks me. And it fucked me last year, but he's just reran the process. So I've explained this to him again. So he's pulled the high day. But what I did with Cam and a couple of others, and what I'll do with myself, my back and my legs are my stronger points. So I don't feel there's any benefit of putting high days on those. At the moment, I've got 2 chest and delt days and then an arm day. So how I'll try and work the split is both delt and chest days will be high days because they could do with priority. And then the bigger days, legs and back, will ideally follow those. So I'm getting the nutrient spike, the cell swell in the body parts that I need on the day, but then I'm still glycogen load to push the bigger body parts. And then the idea is, and what's worked well with others, is then that runs into, that sort of depletes me down into then my rest day food, which is then a low day food. So you sort of high, medium and low, and the medium day when you're doing your bigger body parts is then depleting your glycogen, and then I'll increase my output on the high, on the low days. And that sort of pyramid scheme around your training, Cam literally I think we put 23 pound on little Cam. Well, I shouldn't say little, I should say young Cam. And his body composition barely changed over 12 weeks. It's fucking nuts. I mean, we ended up with all of the days were quite high actually. And then I was putting a free meal on the 2 rest days. Because I think tapering the training with the food like that, his metabolism just went into overdrive. Do you know, because you're refilling, and then the bigger body part days and then burning through the food that you've put in, it's depleting you ready for a refill. Worked exceptionally well.
And that was like the big changing factor for us as well. That was my problem, is we were putting the high day in on my leg days, and if I'm full of fuel on a leg day, I'm a spastic in the gym, and then I would deplete again for my chest day. So I was almost like running flat, if that makes sense. So I wasn't getting the fullness. So back in,
switched that round.
Yeah, we did the off-plan high day, which gave me obviously the back day, which needs the least amount of food, my legs, and then just to be nice and full for the chest day, and then running depleted for the rest of the week.
And it's the only thing, everything I've learned from AJ and everything he did was very, very good. I just think some of it is not as timed well as it could be. Like my legs are my best body part. They're the only body part that doesn't need any attention.
Exactly.
And a high day tends to upset my actual leg day training because I've had 600 grams of carbs by the time I've got to training. I'm bloated. And I fed that back to him, but it just seems to be, and that doesn't make him, that's not something bad he's doing. He just knows that setup works. And a lot of people have a setup that they favour and they run with it. But I think for me, with my digestive issues, it causes me more problems than it's worth in a.
Does
Well,
Atlantis
usually
improve
most-
your gastric emptying, Hilly?
It does not for me. Like
No?
but I explained this to AJ the other week. So I've had a camera up and a camera down, and then they did what's called a barium meal test, if I pronounced that right. And you basically swallow a drink that's got mercury in it, more or less, and then they X-ray your stomach, your full gastrointestinal tract, every 45 minutes or so, and that lets them see how long it takes for that drink to pass through your whole system, and that should take, or the majority of your system, and that should take about 3 to 4 hours. I was sat in a fucking hospital gown for 6 hours while they did mine, and it still hadn't go. She literally had to get like a wooden spoon and start massaging my stomach round between X-rays, and because it took that long to pass through, which obviously then means when I'm in an off season and I'm eating more and more food, it's backing up because it's taking so long to go through. And then if I'm having, say, 4,800 calories on a Monday, 4,800 calories on a Tuesday, and then he's putting in almost 6,000 calories that includes 1,200 grams of carbs on a Wednesday, that shit's backing up hard. And then even when we drop down to my rest day on a Thursday, I can barely eat and I feel sick all day, even on the low food, because my system's so backed up.
Yeah.
Would it not make sense then to have a day of fasting?
Well, that's the reset that I did the other week, isn't it? Which helps. I think, and that's where the very, very low calorie rest days will come in. The problem just becomes, can you then get enough food in to grow with having either a day of fasting over the week without skewing the issue? And that's just a balancing act, because I think if I manage it right, the build-up should never come if I don't. If I have them 2 low days, do you know where I'm going? High, medium, and then low. As long as the low day is enough to clear me out, it shouldn't cost. And then it'll just be monitoring it all the time.
Maybe just do protein on that low day.
Yeah, that's it. And the other thing is, I think keeping my body composition like he did post-show and suffering there and keeping lean was probably the best thing. It just then, I should have stayed lean during the cruise and then tapered my food up as the drugs came back in. Because remember, he had those high carb days of 12 or 1,300 grams, and he had my Lantis at one point at like, what was it, 70 or 80 IU, and we just watched me get a bit fatter every week. And I remember
Well,
saying
that's the odd thing, isn't it? Because here, what coaches will do is when you cruise, they'll typically diet, because they go, right, you're on a cruise, you've got enough testosterone or enough gear in you to maintain muscle, so let's get you lean in that phase. Americans do it opposite. Like, from what I've heard on like Full Ad and what they talk about, is they go, no, I want to keep my weight and in fact even gain if I can in a cruise, and then when I go back on, I can push past, and then that cycle in theory should clean up the fat that you've put on.
Yeah. See, I suffered all the way through that rebound phase, didn't I? Suffered badly. And I was in a mega spot at 7 or 8 weeks post-show, and my blood work was great. Felt I needed a bit of a rest, but it was worth suffering to be in that great spot. And then I cruised for 7 or 8 weeks and just slowly got fatter. And when I sent Jordan the picture at the end, Jordan was like, well, you're in a great position, Eddie, because you've definitely grown, but now you really need to diet because you're too fat to put up. And I was like, I know that's what I think as well.
Yeah.
Because he's used to like working with, and I do believe it is true. There are like hyper responders, and even like, because Chud's mentioned that, like the way he used to rebound was bonkers. Like, he would be on cruise, he would get up to his off-season weight as fast as possible on cruise, then put drugs in, and then just stay there until he recomp's ready for prep. That wouldn't happen with any of us, I don't think, unless you are one of these legitimate responders. Maybe that's what AJ was banking on, that
Maybe
once you put the drugs back in, it's going to tighten you up enough to push. And I just don't think for the majority of us that's possible.
No.
Some people do that. Like Ryan used to do that back in the day. Like he'll finish a show, he'll go on holiday, and he'll come back like 2 weeks later. He'll come back like 25 kilos up. But he's not the type that gets fat. Like us, we get fat. Like none of us could do that.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't see the problem with getting fat if you're progressing on the lift, silly.
Well, only the problem is if you're then planning on a big push-up. If it was like Jordan said, where I was planning on coming back down, it would make sense. But I was already bordering on. I was too fat for a big push-up when the plan was a big push-up. So if the plan was to push me up really heavy and then recomp, that would make sense. But we pushed so hard during the cruise with the high days, I was already at that point where I was struggling, and then it was like, right, now we're going to push up. So and then my appetite went to shit. It didn't help, I don't think, obviously, with me and Charlotte breaking up and then me having Aralina half the time, because that all coincided.
Yeah.
And that's like I was saying earlier, that's the other bit I'm struggling with, is that having Aralina for half the week means following his approach and trying to have it bang on is more difficult when I've got a 2-year-old running around all the time.
The thing is, getting fat, like there's more to it than just the lifts, because like being fat, then you get the low back pumps, you start getting lazier, you don't want to move as much, you start to feel like shit, lethargic all day long. Like there's more to it health wise. Like it's never good to be fat, you know what I mean? And as a bodybuilder, you don't want to look fat because you still want to semi look.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hilly never really looked fat though. Like I know what Hilly's saying in the sense of like how he feels and stuff, but Hilly never really looks fat. Like I look fat. Like Hilly doesn't look fat, if that makes sense. Like he still holds it very well, in my opinion.
I think my issue is my appetite, because I've got digestive issues. As we push up, we lose some digestive. We lose some appetite, and where like Dick can eat no matter what to a point. I think for me, because of the other issues, I'm already struggling there. Once I then get to a certain point, maybe if body fat or whatever's going on, might be insulin sensitivity, could be anything, it becomes extra hard to get in. It's even stupid, like it's stupid things like a chicken and rice meal makes me balk. Last year I was waking up during the night. Like remember, twice I woke up choking, being sick. And my food was high, but it wasn't 6,000 or 7,000 calories high. Do you know what I mean? And this is the other thing I think, is that if I was tweaking things, I just think there's more things I can do to maybe get the food in. Or the other thing is, where my thinking comes, is that if I was staying leaner and taking a bit more time with it, would I be able to grow on less food over time?
Going back to the Tofting theory as well, like maybe you are similar to him, where he has that real sweet spot, and there he just needs to know where that is. If he goes over it, he just stops growing, just gets fat.
Which is why we've got the DHB to play with to see if that helps.
It is interesting because what AJ's done is ideal if you were going into a prep.
Yes,
like
that's exactly what Jordan was like. Hilly, you like the way you've managed to keep on your rebound and keep that body composition. He said, and I can get where AJ was coming from. He said, you look like you've added a shit ton of muscle. He said, and your body composition's just starting to trend too soft. He said, if the plan was to go into a show now, I would say AJ's fucking nailed it. He said, but as the plan is to go into a growth phase, he says, I think you're in the wrong body composition to go into a growth phase. And we all said the same thing. So I think that's the only thing I can't get my head around. But again, potentially, what AJ does. The other thing is, AJ wanted me running like 8 IU of fucking growth, which would probably help recomp me a fair bit. But I haven't got the willingness to run 8 IU of growth. All my screens have just frozen for some reason.
Still going to go on.
I made a fuck up. I forgot to post the questions.
Yeah.
You fucking tit.
You tit. Well, I tell you what. I was. Can you hear me all right?
I thought Deck was doing it.
No, Deck was going to do it.
I said, did anyone put any questions? I said I'll do it.
Yeah, then I forgot.
Well, why don't we carry on to last week's episode and talk about the fat loss stuff? Talk about growth, DMP, and all the rest of it.
Yeah, the other thing we can discuss, because I was going to do that video on it on Instagram, but it didn't work, is all of our thoughts on weighing your food, cooked or uncooked, and what is each of our opinions on it.
All right, let's do that then.
Well,
I know Hilly's like, I know what you're going to say. I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
But
what are we going to say?
I do some things raw. I do some things cooked. But I just stick to that all year round.
Yeah.
So I don't see what the issue is.
See, with rice, I don't see why you're going to want to go for the hassle of measuring the water every single time and all of that shit. If I'm going to cook 200 grams of rice, or let's say 500 grams of rice for the day, I'll cook it and then I'll just portion it out or just scoop it out as I go. I don't want to weigh it. I'll just roughly...
Yeah, but then, bro...
I don't do that. I literally...
What would you do then if you're out at a restaurant and you're going to get food? How do you eyeball it then?
The way I do it is, let's say I've got 500 grams of rice. I'll cook the lot, right? And then let's say I'll kind of estimate how much is like throughout the day, but I'll just weigh out, let's say it comes up to 300 grams, and then I'll spread it like that in one go over the course of the day. Or I'll just leave it in the rice cooker and just like scoop it throughout the day. As long as it's finished by the end of the day and it's roughly the same every meal, it's fine.
I just microwave them. I have microwave rice. So I make my life easy.
Meats,
Man, I
like
literally
meats,
batch cook a bag of rice in my rice cooker, and that lasts me 2 or 3 days.
And then do you just wait cooked?
And then I just take it out and obviously do it cooked weight. Yeah, cooked weight. I just
See,
scoop it out,
yeah.
bang it in my little pan.
but do you
and I'm
measure the exact same of water every time, or like how do you do it?
Do I fuck? I just do it by eye. I pour the whole bag in and I try and do 50-50 of water, cook it, and I just scoop it out.
Do you
Yeah.
wash your rice?
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. See, here's my thing with it. I don't think it matters which. It doesn't really matter which way you do it for me. These people saying cooked is more accurate, uncooked is more accurate. For me, it doesn't matter for most things. If I'm using my rice cooker, then I am using the same amount of cups to the same amount of water every time. So it's no different to doing it raw. It is just easier for me to get up in the morning, put the rice in, cook it in the rice cooker so it's cooked accurately the same way every time, and then I weigh mine cooked. That suits me. I think where people get lost in the discussion is, as long as you do it the same way every time, then you're consistent. It doesn't matter. The reason I like to do cooked weights for a lot of clients is simply due to adherence purposes. It is easier for people in general that don't sit about working from home all day to batch and bulk cook their food. Also, my thinking for over a decade has been, if you were used to weighing out your meat and rice cooked, for my clients that work offshore, for people that might have to eat out, you can eyeball your chicken and rice portion pretty well if you need to. Or if you've got travel scales, you can get cooked rice and cooked chicken or whatever from any restaurant or most service stations in the fucking world. So therefore...
Yeah, but you also know that if you're, let's say, a chicken breast, like 200 grams raw, you can cook it down to 120 or you can cook it down to 140, depending on how you cook it, whether it's air fry or pan or whatever. So there's a massive variance.
But then there's also a variance depending on where you get your chicken and how much it's filled with water.
That's
so
true.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So I think if you're always roughly cooking your chicken the same, so if you're air frying it or grilling it or doing it in the oven, you've more or less got the same consistency. Because if I go and buy chicken from Macro or Tesco or a local butcher, if the difference in water weight that it loses is just as different to the difference it is when you're cooking, and this is what I mean by it, I don't really think one way is better than the other. What is key for me is what suits the person. I mean, same with your beef, same with your mince. And the other thing that makes me laugh is, if you watch 90% of pro bodybuilders in America or abroad, them motherfuckers are all weighing their food cooked.
Oh yeah.
So you've got fucking low-level coaches, low-level bodybuilders, or Tom, Dick and Harry fucking in England. The thing I was saying on this video was, it seems to be people in England want to do everything the hardest way. We want to make everything hard work so we can put our hand up and be like, I spend an hour and a half every day preparing my food because I'm a fucking moron. When really,
but I mean, them lot, they measure their protein powder in scoops and they measure their peanut butter in tablespoons. So, but that just shows you that can work.
Yeah,
it's just consistency, isn't it? It's just consistency. It's like if you work with data, like it doesn't matter if it's accurate or not, as long as it's consistent. That's all you ever need, and then you have a consistent understanding of what you need to be doing and what you need to be eating. But like Hilly said, like I going back to what we said last week about like removing the emotional attachment of food. Man, if I had to get up and like flash fry my chicken every time and then cook my rice and stuff, I'd be trying to make it all fancy, and that's just not what I want to do. I batch cook my 2.5 kilos of chicken in the morning in the oven, put it in the oven. That's all done. I batch cook a portion of rice. That goes in the fridge. And then I take the cooked chicken breast out, weigh that to 200 grams a portion, weigh the rice up to 200 grams, bang it in the microwave, then flash fry it so it's nice and tasty, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Easy.
And it's you've got the highest level bodybuilders all over the world weighing their food cooked. And then you've got people telling first timers or people in England that they have to do it the hardest possible way. And I'm like, what is this buzz with everybody wanting to do things here the hardest, long-ass way, when everybody else in the world at the highest top level is getting their cooked meats delivered and weighing it, and their cooked rices and weighing it. And you can go back to the 90s and the 2000s. Every bodybuilding video you watch, they weigh out cooked fucking portions. And then you've got people in England like, raw is the only way to go. Make sure that you make this as hard as fucking possible for yourself. You sit at home and be a boring motherfucker and spend all your life prepping your food. Fuck off.
Cooking it raw is long, bro. I work from home. I can do what I like. I still don't do it raw. Fuck, that's long, bro.
I was watching a Ronnie Coleman video the other day when he was on prep, and he's like, I think I need to get 20 grams of fat out of this. Like, he didn't even know what he was supposed to be doing, and he's just slapping plastic cheese on top of his grits, like left, right, and centre. I think that's about right. And he's mixed up and starts fucking eating it.
Yeah. And obviously, And obviously,
That's the way you gotta be.
and obviously that would only work for Ronnie Coleman. But
Yeah.
the rest of us, like, you know, this big hoo-ha of you need to do it right. And then I've got clients watching some Instagram stories like, can you change everything to cooked? Can you change everything to raw? And I'm like, are you really that bad? Like, what suits you? Me to giving you cooked or raw, it doesn't matter to me. It's what makes your life easier. Because at the end of the day, it is a ball ache eating 6 meals around your full-time job. If you're a parent with kids, like I said, I've got clients all over the world, clients that work offshore, clients that work oil rigs or here or there. How can I design your plan so that it suits you, so that you can follow your plan 100%? That is the goal. Not that, well, my chicken's from an organic butcher's and I cook it this way and I do it like it's about adherence, enjoying your food and what works for you. If that's cooked or raw, that's fine. But one way is not better than the fucking other.
You see, I do all of my chicken cooked. I do my beef raw. I do all of my fish raw.
I do that, and that's fucking Hilly's fault. I don't even know why I do it. I do my beef raw weight because of Hilly. I don't even know why, but I just always do.
But beef does make a difference, bro, because obviously depending on how much you cook it, medium rare, raw,
Yeah.
you mince, it's all very, very different to chicken then.
That's never been my thought. That it's purely that with beef, we only tend to have one beef meal a day. And
Correct.
for a lot of people tend, again, it comes back to mindset and what people enjoy to do. Most people don't want to eat cold beef during the day. It's not very nice. Most people would rather have chicken during the day and have steak on the night for the tea. They like to cook a nice steak. So therefore, it then makes sense to do the steak raw because you can weigh it out raw. You can have as much as you need. You're not putting expensive steak in the bin. And who really wants to eat cold mince? I've done it before. It's fucking brutal for me. Whereas cold chicken or cold turkey is sound to eat. So it very much comes back to palatability, taste, and ease is the way I work. Is that steak you will end up getting a raw weight because most people like. I would rather have my beef at home so I can make a little healthy bolognese. I can have a nice steak and whatever. So doing it that way because again I think a lot of people would like to have steak medium rare, but it's not healthy to eat cold medium rare steak. I don't think because the pink bit can get bacteria and shit on it. So for a lot of people. The way my mind works is what is going to make your meals taste better, what is easier to prepare. But again, if someone wants to eat cold beef and they want to cook that way and they want it cooked with, like AJ does everything in cooked weights. And every pro bodybuilder you tend to see, I mean, none of them even cook food now. They all get it sent in the post. So we should all really tell what Flex Lewis and Jay Cutler and everybody that they all doing it wrong and they better start weighing their meals raw. Fucking hell.
What I do now is I told Lily about this. Missions are at a different door. It's off. What I do now is I buy my chicken from my own shop and I drop it off to the kebab shop and then he cooks it for me every day. And I just go, so he does me 500 grams cooked weight, yeah? I go there, pick up the box every day at 9 o'clock. She just went there, now come back, yeah? Then that's my chicken for the next day. My life's so easy, bro. I just pay him £2 every time
How
he
much
cooks
you
it.
pay him?
£2.
Yeah.
I need to find a shop like that to do mine.
Mate, I need to find a shop like that too.
He said to me, he goes, Riz, because it's a kebab shop, they've got like a griddle that's always on. That's on because it's connected to the doner machine and whatnot. So the griddle, that whole machine's on. He goes, mate, the machine's on 24/7. So for us making it for you is free. And I was like, all right, sound, let's give you £2. He's like, yeah, sound.
£2.
Well,
Yeah,
I can ask him
that's
to bathe it in doner kebab meat for me before he gives it back.
In the grease.
Bro, when they cook it, they get it just right, bro, where it's not too dry, it's not too raw. It's
Wait, so
just
you do
perfect.
that every single day?
I've been doing it for the past 3 days. Brilliant. My meals are going down very fucking nice.
Give him like 15 quid at the end of the week and he saw it.
Well, because I said to Riz the other day when me and Riz were talking about it, I was like, there's a place near me called Peri Peri Chicken and they do like 10 grilled bits of chicken for about 9 quid or 10 quid.
Yeah.
I said, if I'm struggling to get my meals down, I'm just going to go and get that every day because it works out. I think it works out. I get 280 gram meals of cooked chicken, but it's in a little flavouring and it's grilled and it tastes nice. If your chicken's cooked like that on one of them grills, it is easy to eat. I don't care who you are or what you say.
100%.
It is easy to eat. And then when Riz told me that, I was like, you lucky motherfucker.
It'll be better as well because it realistically as well. It'll cook off the fat. Like where we're doing it in a pan or in the oven, it's cooking within the fat. That stuff will drip that fat onto that coal, so it's just gone.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's always so healthy.
Yeah.
It tastes
Genius,
good.
Riz, I like it.
I've seasoned it myself. He's like, I can season it for. I was like, nah, no, mate. I seasoned it myself. I think he just bangs it on quick. And because it's so hot, bro, it just comes out ever like charcoaly. Do you know what I mean? It's wicked.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Talking
like
of meal
filling
prep
off
companies, ain't it mental? After like 8,462,000 failed companies, some people still wake up and think, "Oh, I'm going to start a meal prep company this week." Like, it's actually bonkers how many new ones pop up after they survive about 6 months and then die.
Surely they must all lose money at the start, throwing free meals at everybody, and then they just
God, there's
bankrupt
no
themselves.
way. I know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I know, obviously, the one in America, the biggie that Flex Lewis and that has huge funding, so that makes sense to me. But it's just the UK companies that start doing it. It's just never going to be profitable.
Isn't
No
that
one
just
can
meat
afford it.
though? I thought they just do meat.
No, I think they
Like
do
they
like
just
all the
send
meal
you out
prep
your
type
chicken
things.
and beef and that.
Well, can you remember that Premier one that was like
Yeah.
£60 for a kilo of steak or something?
I-
Imagine. I mean, I worked it. I worked it out. If I wanted to buy my meat off them following AJ's meal plan, it would have cost me something like 40 quid a day.
It's fucking nuts.
The one that Nathan Styles uses, they're quite good. I had a look online. They do the halal one as well. It's £50 for 5 kilos of cooked chicken, which is not that bad for cooked
No.
weight chicken to your door.
How much? £50 for what?
£50 for 5 kilos of cooked
5 kilo
chicken.
cooked, is it?
5 kilo
that's-
cooked.
That's not cheap, but that's still like 100% markup, man. Like that's still
Yeah,
crazy.
but bro,
No, because it's more like 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing for me
7
is,
raw.
look, I was using that one where they were sending me, where I was getting turkey and chicken, it was coming in the kilo bags. That was
Yes,
about
yeah.
12 quid. They were good, but the problem is, the first couple of batches I got were all right, but I just went off the taste of it straight away after a couple of weeks. Do you know, taking it out and cooking it, and that's just not
Yeah.
the same for me.
No.
Yeah, I think the setup that I've got now is pretty much bulletproof because I get it the night before, I eat it the next day, and it just it continues. It's perfect.
Oh yeah, if there was somewhere like that round near me, I'd go every other day and just drop chicken off and come back and get it 2 days worth at a time. Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I went to the other cocksucker at the other shop. I go, listen, mate, I'll come and buy 50 strips off you every 4 days. Oh, no, we can't really do that. I was like, you know what, bro, we just lost a sale, mate. Just fuck off, bro. People are just thick.
Yeah.
What do you mean? So what does he want?
I don't know what the fuck you wanted, bro. I think because 10 strips are like 20 quid. I was like, listen, mate, I'll buy 40 or 50 off you every fucking 4 days. Sort the price. Oh, no, I can't do that. I was like,
Oh, you
whatever,
asked him
mate.
for a better price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to that, yeah, in the off season, I think we should cover it. Like, how do you get the food in? I don't think people cover it enough. Like, I'm struggling right now to get the food in. I can't even lie, bro. I'm not even on that much high food.
I don't know.
It's-
See, I can't really speak much on that because I just eat it. I'm always fucking hungry. I've never had an issue eating, so.
Snap.
Yeah. For me, I think a lot's palatability. I think the bad habit I fall into, once my food gets high, like what Dick was saying, I just make things easy to eat. But then when they become easy to eat, they're not as tasty to eat, and I can end up almost balking at my meals. And I think that's where I get a bit lazy with food. You know, I'll just do chicken and rice, and I'll just throw the same sauce in it, and I'll just eat that. And then once your food gets to a certain, I think there's a big part for a lot of people in making sure you keep making the efforts with your meals to make them tasty. I know, like you, that's not a problem, but for me, once my meals get to a certain point, I'm like, it just becomes awful to fucking eat that gag on it.
Yeah.
The thing
Even
is,
like-
though,
I really stand on the fact it's timing. Like my food does get high, and everyone knows I'm a fucking gannet and I can eat. But like, I am like meticulous with my day setting out, if that makes sense. Like my meals are the same time, which I have the benefit because I'm working from home and that sort of stuff. But like, I'll eat my meals, especially in the off season. I eat 2 meals, go for a long walk, 5k steps, 2 meals, long walk, 5k steps, just to make sure everything's moving. And I try and make a bit more space around my pre-workout meal. And when I eat that, I try and wait like a longer period of time. So normally, like now, where I'm starving all the time, I'll eat my cream rice meal and go to the gym straight away. I won't wait. I'll just go. And that's fine for me. But in the off season, I'll wait like an extra hour, maybe 90 minutes, which then obviously allows that to pass through my digestive system a little better. So I think it's just planning, and then making sure the biggie for me and Quinn always joke about it, is making sure I get my last meal in early enough so that I wake up hungry. If I wake up not hungry, that's when I know I fucked it.
And I think big proof to this is where I'm at the moment. So like today, so Aralina went back to her mum's on Wednesday. So today I was up, cardio done, first meal in early because I don't have Aralina to sort out. And then my meal time today has been as it should be. And I've been hungry for my meals all of the day. I am ahead of my meal time and everything is great. But come Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because Irina can get up early, and then because I'm out doing stuff with her, my meal timing is not that on point, just because it can't be, and then my appetite suffers for it. So I think that's a prime example. Half of my week, my appetite struggles because I've got to bath Irina, put her to bed at a certain time. She might not want to go to bed at a certain time. I'm then trying to squeeze in some work before she wakes up, when she goes to bed, because of the way my day works with her. And I obviously prioritise doing stuff with her over getting a meal in. So then my appetite skews. The difference in my hunger today compared to Monday or Tuesday is so night and day, it's unbelievable. But the meals have been the
Stress
same.
as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
stress cripples your appetite.
Yeah. And I'm seeing a huge swing over the week of those Sunday, Monday, Tuesday days with her and chasing her around and then trying to get her to eat and whatnot. And then these days where I'm just wake, cardio, work, eat, gym. It's like an exact same meals, there's no difference apart from a little 2-year-old bossing me about and no 2-year-old bossing me about.
If I don't do morning cardio, my appetite for the day is a bit shit. I have to get up and fucking do the cardio.
That's huge for me as well.
Yeah,
huge
if I don't do the cardio, bro, I'm just shit day, man. And I fucking hate cardio.
When you finish training, Riz, at the moment, are you hungry by the time you finish the gym? Every time?
I'm not hungry at all, bro.
See, I think that's a sign.
That's a sign for me that I fucked it.
Because I'm starving when I finish gym. Like, I'm literally like, especially like when I have to do cardio post workout, I'm like, nah.
No, I'm hungry, bro, but I won't be like, do you know, like I'm prepped when you want to go home, you just want to fucking eat. It's like, I'll just wait a little bit. I'll wait half an hour, then I'll eat. Do you know what I mean?
I think me and Riz are just the complete opposite to you two, because as soon as I'm in a surplus, I'm not hungry for any of my meals ever. I could happily go without eating it. Even when my food's not particularly high, I'm just okay all of the time. Do you know what? Like, I come out of a session, I'm not starving. Like, today I'm hungry, but for the last few weeks, and I think just people's hunger and digestion swing a lot compared to other people.
So different, yeah.
Yeah, but I also think, Hilly, right? You see, you're at this point now where you're growing and you're pushing and you're finding it hard to put food in, right? And I think people, like, you've got to keep pushing the food. I don't think you have all the time, because I know if I push it now, performance in the gym is going to drop. When I went to Martin, I went 5 weeks ago, just leave the food the same. I've kept it the same, and I'm getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. Yeah, so it's perfect. So I don't see the point of just. I think there's this mindset of you have to keep pushing it. You don't. I think often you will eventually grow anyway.
Oh, without a doubt. If you sit, and I think, go on, Dick.
I was just saying, if you're in a surplus, you're in a surplus. It's just, I was watching, who was podcast I was watching earlier? I think it's a case of kind of what you're doing next. Like, if you get off stage and they say you need 10 pounds of muscle, then you do need to take the piss of that surplus and take the unwarranted fat, that you don't want. But I think in the case of where you're trying to stay in a better body composition, or if you struggle to get in shape, I think at that point, that's when you just need to be in a tiny surplus and let it grow. But with my clients, I always do like the 2-week rule. Like, if weight stalls for 2 weeks, that's when I increase food. If it stalls for 1 week, I don't just chuck it up. I wait for 2 weeks. What normally happens is if it stalls, it will then drop on the second week, and that's when I incrementally look to increase. But the other side of that, and I know I mentioned this before, is I think a lot of us fuck it up very early. And me and Hilly fixed that very, very early when we started coaching together, where Phil Viz said it, you hide calories. Like, you, instead of, like, once you get to your, like, base layer of food where you're content of eating, say, 300 grams of rice, when you're increasing there, like, start using your fruit juices, honey, like, use the easier foods or sweets around training, cyclodextrin around training, that sort of stuff. Like, don't get to the point where you're like fucked and then you're starting trying to cram food in, because it doesn't work. But at the point where you're content, you're comfortable, you can get your meals in, at that point, that's when you start hiding the calories. Jams, nut butters if needs be, extra fats, oils, juices, sweets, all that sort of stuff. Like, those little things come in real handy, especially around the training window, and you shouldn't really feel them if you get it right.
I've literally just done this with three or four clients in the last 2 weeks. I've literally said to them, send me a food list of foods that you like and missing, that you know you digest reasonably well, that are calorie dense. And all of them were slightly different, because I know the rice, your rice portions are sort of 250, 300 grams. They've mentioned, they haven't said that they're struggling with food, but all of them concurrently were like, I'm just feeling I'm getting to that point where I feel full. Like, I'm managing my food, but I'm at that sort of limit. So I got them all to send me food lists. And like Dex said there, now the foods that I will go to will be those calorie dense, foods that they're enjoying, that they're happy to eat, that they know they're digestible, instead of waiting till they get a roadblock of, I'm fucked, I can't eat anymore. And then it's like, right, well, where can we cram extra stuff in now?
Yeah.
This is what I was arguing with someone the other day about lentil use, right? Obviously, it's a little bit related to the topic, but you get what I mean. So you lot are saying, like Dex trying to say, you obviously put the denser foods in earlier, so we're not getting to that wall, right, of being super full. So my argument was, why do people wait to hit X amount of carb to then put the lantus in? Surely you should put the lantus in earlier, so you don't even hit that level of high blood glucose. Do you know what I'm trying to say, right? So we're almost leveling it before we end up at that high.
I think Tofton puts this out a lot. It's understanding what you're using lantus for. Like, ultimately, it's a fantastic anabolic substance. So, like, even in a diet setting to a degree, as long as you're not forcing hypo, like, ideally, if you can get it in at 5 to 10 IUs, it's only going to optimize everything you're doing. So I think you're right, Riz. I think you should put it in ultimately as early as you can and utilize it for what it's worth. But it's not just a case of giving your pancreas a bit of relief. Like, if you're trying to grow muscle, we understand the affinity it has with IGF and growth hormone. Get it in fucking early and ramp it up as and when you can.
They go on, sorry.
I used it in my last prep all the way until 5 weeks out.
I get sick of saying this on Jordan's forum, like, because you get people hear certain things from certain people. You get posts like, how many carbs should I be on before I put lantus in? How much IU should I take per grams of carbs? And I'm like, what is going on? Like, the main reasons people use lantus, like Dex says, it is an anabolic substance. It helps increase your body's ability to store glucose so you can perform better and recover better. It allows the body to increase the uptake of certain amino acids better. It also has the ability to increase IGF levels. All of those things are the main reasons, in my opinion, we should be using lantus or any insulin so that we can become more anabolic and grow. That is why we use it. Do I wait until my blood glucose levels get to a certain point? How many grams? Should I be on 500 grams of carbs before I use that? Should I be on 6? It's a bit absurd to me because, for one, as human beings, we should all be able to eat 400, 500, 600 grams of carbs a day with no fucking blood glucose issues, as long as we are healthy, active, and training. Like, there are Olympic athletes that do endurance sports all over the world consuming super high levels of carbohydrates year round, and they don't need to take fucking lantus to control their blood glucose. Our body is more than effective or efficient at doing that itself. The only time that you will run into high blood glucose issues where you need lantus, and the initial reason for that was when you were taking higher levels of growth hormone, and that pushes your blood glucose up and can cause insulin resistance. So the whole ethos behind using insulin with growth hormone was based on the blood glucose readings, not because you want a certain amount of fucking carbs. Like, it blows my mind, people being like, oh, right, I'm on 500 grams of carbs a day, can I use lantus now? These are literally the questions. How many grams of carbs can I be on, or should I be on, before I'm allowed to use lantus? It's like, listen, if you were trying to grow and you feel that you are comfortable using lantus, then lantus is going to help you grow, whether you want 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 800 grams of fucking carbs. It doesn't matter. A female can use lantus to grow, and actually, arguably, it may be a good option for them to do so to grow, because there is no virilization effects. There are no effects on the skin, no effects on their hormones. Yet it will make them more anabolic. I just think people's complete mindset's wrong. And like what you say is, like, really, if you are happy to use lantus, then get it in from the start. If you've got a 16-week cycle of growing planned out, or a 16-week growth phase, whether you're male, female, whatever, why wait until week 8 or 9 to make your body more anabolic? Why not make it more anabolic from the start? It makes no sense to me. And that doesn't mean you've got to start using it every day or training days. But if you're going to use the tool, it doesn't shut down your HPT axis. It doesn't have any negative effects on the hormonal system. It doesn't really cause any toxicity at all. So surely that would be more of one of your go-to factors than it would be fucking steroids.
I think saying that, though, lantus has become the 2023 fad word. Like, it's become a trend. Like, every cunt is on fucking lantus in 2023. And I think, like, every year there's a new drug. Like, you know, 1 year is DHB, next year is lantus, primo, you know. So every year there's something. But I think if you're an 80-kilo kid that comes in and goes, I want to use lantus, you have no business using fucking
Why are you
lantus.
talking about me like that, bro?
Huh?
Nah.
Send me
I-
shots. Send me shots for me.
I think, you know what I mean? Like, I think what Riz was saying, like, start it like before you get into the blood glucose issue. That's fine, but I think it does promote a lot of misuse and a lot of people using it that shouldn't be using it. And that's why what Hilly was saying is there's no education on it, because people are like, well, so and so said I need to use Lantus. I'm going to take 30 units of Lantus, and they get these ideas of this is how many carbs they need per this many carbs per like I use and that, and it's like maybe you don't even need it to begin with.
Yeah, and I think
Because
you've got to not be
the
a
likes
spa-
of
you've
us
got-
that do use it, we know, right? You're like, right, let me measure my blood glucose, and that's what you go off of.
Yeah, and I think you've not got to be a spastic with it. Like, take me as an example. I know how beneficial it is. I know how much of a positive impact it has on my physique, and it does have, especially on high days. But I texted Hilly last time, on our last high day, I said, I can't run it anymore. Like, we put it in, I think it was like 20 IUs or whatever, and I was chasing the hypo all day. I'm just at the point where I'm so lean now, even on a high day, that obviously I was able to manage it. I was at no risk at any point throughout the day. I had an abundance of food with me and all that sort of stuff. But I was just chasing. I wasn't going hypo, but I was getting a bit wavy by every meal. So I just said to him, look, next time we can't run the Lantus. And thankfully, that was the end of the diet to a degree. But so you also have to be not so much of a meathead that you can make the decision where it's not applicable anymore and pull it out. But if you're not that person, just don't touch it.
Well, look what was happening. Look what was happening with my high
Yeah,
days
exactly.
when I was in prep. Remember, where you should be looking forward to a high day and getting excited for it. My high days were horrendous because AJ has them super low fat with the insulin in, and I was just running hypo all day. It didn't matter how close I had my meals together, because I was so lean and so sensitive and what was going on. And again, it's a drug that can cause you issues if you're not careful. So I agree with Chuddy that you should be at a certain point where you know yourself and you're educated enough to use it. I think the problem is whether you've got, excuse me, people looking for these markers that make no sense. Well, how many grams of carbs should I be on? Where should I be at when I bring it in? It's like you should be at a level where the use is justified, and then the use should be correctly applied from the get-go, where it makes sense.
I think a lot of people as well with Lantus, they give it a bad rep because they're like, oh, but when you pull the Lantus out, you lose all the water weight and you lose all this. But yeah, but why would you pull it out? People come to the end of the off season and they're like, oh, I'm now going into a cut. I need to pull out all the insulin. Leave it in, bro. You're still on about 800 grams of carb. Like, I'm probably going to keep mine in all the way till I prep, and probably till 5 or 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
And then you bring it down as you know what I mean? As you reverse into the prep.
I think I gathered John Jewett leaves it in with his guys all of the time, year round. I gather.
Yeah.
I was listening to what's his name again? What's Andrew Berry?
Yeah.
He goes, I would try to use the smallest amount of slin wherever the fuck I could.
Of course.
Because even if it meant using like an IU in the gym, I would use it because end of the day, it's an anabolic tool. And he goes, if you want to be truly in that purely dirty, ripped condition, he goes, you want to use the insulin when you're super ripped as well.
And Milos has his guys use it year round. I don't think he ever takes a break from it. And I think because you get these questions as well on Jordan's forum, how long can you run insulin for? And it's almost an impossible one to answer, because in theory or on paper, there shouldn't be any reason to not use it.
No.
But then in diabetic studies and stuff, over time, the longer you use the insulin, the less effective it becomes. Something to do with your body's ability to react to the insulin or something. I'm not that clever.
Yeah.
But then again, the problem with that is, and I was trying to explain it to someone the other day on the forum, if I remember rightly, those studies are then only based on diabetics, because we are all abusing this drug. There are no studies on healthy people using insulin over prolonged periods of time to see if there's a negative effect. So when people ask that question, you can't really say, because on paper, when I think about it, there should be no reason to stop using insulin. Like, you can't, like, what justification could we give to someone that you need to take a break from it? But then the only studies we've got to look at are diabetics using insulin over a long period of time. And like my mum, for example, she does now need more and more insulin. She uses that new Tresiba now, the 24 one, but she needs more Humalog than she did 3 years ago, and more Humalog then than she did 6 years ago, because over time your body does become resilient to the insulin.
But Hilly, also, no offense obviously to your mum, right? She doesn't go to the gym, she doesn't train, she doesn't carry muscle mass, and obviously the more muscle mass you carry, technically you become more insulin sensitive, because you've now got technically more pathways in essence to drive your glucose to.
But this resistance is the different side. So it's not where the glucose is getting pushed through; it's how your body's responding to the insulin,
exogenous
apparently,
insulin. Yeah, and I
to
think
the exogenous insulin.
and
But again, we don't know if we would. We can only presume we may see the same effect, but we don't know because no one's ever going to say, right, let's take 50 healthy or 100 healthy people, let's smash them with insulin, and let's see if they become resilient to it over time. Like, why on fucking God's earth would you do that? So we're never going to know is the answer.
if any of you frequently watch like the Fuad podcast, like all of those guys, whether they're telling the truth or not, they're not a fan of insulin. And anecdotally, it's what they're saying, Hilly. Like they say it's great for the first 4 or 6 weeks, but then it's a case of you're just increasing it all the time to the point where that mad pump you're getting doesn't really exist. But we're kind of using it for a different reason with the Lantus, aren't we? I don't think the Nova Rapid use, even though they're the same compound or peptide, I think Lantus has a very different implementation comparable to Nova Rapid or Humalog, you know?
And I don't think any of those were around at the time. I've never heard any of them mention they've used Lantus.
Never.
Theirs has always been the fast acting sauce.
Yeah.
Because I tell you who I watched recently. I think I mentioned this in the podcast. What's his name? The German guy. He was running 100. He runs 100 IU of Lantus. Why can't I remember his name?
Well, Roman.
Roman always
Yes,
shagging,
Roman. Yeah. Roman said he said, why on earth would I use 10 IU of Lantus? He said it's got a 12 IU. He said it's got a 12-hour I think it's a 12 IU active life. He said, so I'm getting less than 1 IU of insulin an hour. He said, my body produces more than that. That's fucking stupid. He said, if I take 50 or 100, then I'm getting about 5 IU on average an hour. Now that's a very meathead analysis of it, but actually. That's
right.
actually a very logical analysis. Yeah,
but he's also able to stomach 2,000 grams of carbs a day every day without fail. So like that, and ultimately, if you're talking about optimizing bodybuilding, he is the epitome of that. Like he's able to stomach that amount of food. His body composition is always pilled. He has the ability to run 100 IUs of Lantus safely to a degree, and it benefits the way he looks. If we were in the position to do that, I would do it, wouldn't you?
I mean, I put 70 IU in on that high day with AJ before, and I didn't feel any different to 40. I think I was having. It was 1,100 grams of carbs. I didn't feel extra sleepy. I didn't have any hypo issues. Like I felt I was mad pumped in the gym, but I didn't see any negative effects from it at all.
Do you know what I would have said at that point? I would have said, "Is the Lantus fake?" I would have potentially called out the plug.
That would have been you, but I've had Sam running 40 IU on all of his training days for consecutive periods of time with no issues at all.
Yeah, but he's a genetic anomaly. He's special. You can't trust him.
But I think if you are someone who can stomach the food, I think that is where it ties into it. Like we are, like we discussed last week, you're only as big as your cycle. And ultimately, if you can eat the food, why wouldn't you? Like that's the question.
Well, because that's it. And that's exactly what we were saying last week. If you were taking the drugs and you are able to eat the food, then it makes all of the sense in the world to take the supporting hormones to make sure you were shuttling the food as efficiently as possible to support the training, the food, and the hormones.
I liked Dusty Hanschel and the other, what's his name? I like their use for insulin was on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, they have a pen per plate of food that they eat. So they literally 2 IUs of rapid, bang. Then when they go to the next plate, 2 IUs of rapid and just keep sitting there all day eating food.
But if you just think about it, let's just say, for example, Chudley, you were doing that big cut, right? When you did the really low food, right? And you hammered yourself down.
Yeah.
Now imagine now if we could go back and we had to work with that. What I would say is you'd give Chudley a high day once a week or once every 2 weeks, and you'd slam the living shit out of the Lantus and the Rapid to get the super compensation, and you'd knock him back down again.
Well, that's what we were doing. That's what we were doing with Deck. So all of the way through last year, we were having the free meal on the Friday, and then Saturdays and Sundays were high carb days and high Lantus days.
Yeah.
With Humalog as well around training.
That might be what I need to do starting in January, because I'll send you some pictures. I weighed myself the other morning. I was like 222. Bro, I was 222 1 week out, like before I I was on stage. But I'm 222, not lean, not fat. I'm just like, I'm not fat, right? But I'm not lean. It's weird. It's like I'm just like flat and just skinny. So I need
to got that anabolic fullness going. That's why.
Yeah.
But equally as well, I haven't been to the gym in about 2 weeks. So I'm like, I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna start in January.
Sorry, just to touch on that. And actually, now I think about it, the setup I had with Cam, where we ended up was similar to what you were doing, Deck, but it was just split over the week. So do you know when I was talking earlier about having the higher day on the point body part, then the medium day and the low. So what we were doing was on the higher day we were using insulin, then the medium day was normal, then the rest day was low, but with a free meal to then fuel. So where we've done yours, Dick, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we were doing the same layout with the insulin, but it was split half of the week and half of the week.
That cheat meal for me does the world of good because it's the fats and the sodium that makes everything stick for those next 2 days. It's hugely beneficial.
Yeah, that worked really, really well.
Yeah.
Crying, you fat bastard.
Yeah, it's mad. Say hi.
Ty just
Has
looks,
he got?
he looks hard, doesn't he? As a cat, he just looks nailed.
He is.
Has his eye fixed itself?
No, so he's got drops for his eye, but it'll always be like that, bless him.
Oh shit!
He'd fuck
The size
Tyson
of
up in
him.
a fight, Riz.
Look at the size of him.
Nah, mate, you're mad, bruv.
He would bang Tyson out. Look at his face. Look how nails he looks. He lies on his chair and like, come and tickle me. You tickle and he bites you.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
because they're playing.
Go on then, sundown. Go on, away you go. Good.
That cat's been stolen before me.
Yeah, he's been stolen. It was fucking doorbells that now.
It's not mine. Hey, Chuds, I got a question for you. You've been going out a lot recently. How the fuck do you get into nightclubs? I walk in, look nice, innocent. I get turned away every fucking door. You and your meathead mates covered in tattoos over your faces. How the fuck do you get in? That's what I want to know.
Because like they just know all of us, especially, mind you, I used to work on the doors like down there, didn't I? So we know a lot of them. We don't even pay entries or anything. We just walk in.
I could turn up in a nun outfit and they'd still turn me a fucking way.
Yeah, but bro, like travellers find it quite hard to get into a lot of nightclubs, especially.
Just walking to the nightclub with staffies.
Mind you, like I said to you, I'm skinny now. Like, bro, if you look at that picture that I took with my mates there, I'll just send it to you, lot. Bro, I look like about a third of the size of them. I posted a picture with my bird the other day. I had people message me like, "Did you stop training?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Genuinely, and like, I see myself like I'm so like deflated right now, but because I've been getting my legs tattooed like every 4th day, and it's been I haven't trained my legs in about 6 months properly because I can't, because they're fucking being tattooed every fucking 4th day. Yeah. So starting in January, like I said, and mind you, I'm going to Turkey in Feb, so I've not actually got that long, so I've got about a month to like recomp, so I need to like do something pretty fucking.
Bro, just look,
Drop me a text, mate. I'll set up the cycle.
Turboject's not going to affect your hair, so just turboject everywhere, bro. I'll sponsor it.
I've moved. I've started pinning my pecs with the turboject in one site now, rather than doing multiple shots in the pec. Works just as well. Like no issues at all. Spread nicely. Like no issues whatsoever.
Deck, when are you doing a show?
Q1. So I'll start from, I think March.
Quarter
then
one.
run up to May. Yeah, Q1 next year.
Oh, okay. It's the first part of the year.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yes.
He's gonna get...
So like I've even stopped using the turboject and that now, because there's no point. Like everything is just flat. But when you're not training it, you know. But I reckon like as soon as I get back into the training and that, but I will need to put some gear back in, because like I said, I've been on nothing for like 8 months.
How's your sex driving that, Chuds?
Spot on. But mind you, I'm still TRT, so
okay.
So it's still fine, but like I said, I need to kind of like do something pretty drastic for like a month.
I don't know how you've done it,
before
man.
I go to Turkey.
I went away for the weekend with Days and that to Lyme Region. I was like, I'm not going to bodybuild this weekend. I'm just going to shut off. It lasted like 18 hours. Like, I'm not joking. I found a local gym, straight in the gym.
But I got a feeling Chunley's going to jump back on the gym hype in January, and then he's going to go full 360 and back on the gym thing, and he'll be back on the cycle. Be like, fuck the hair transplant, fuck the teeth, and he'll be full on gym mode again.
Well, no, I've booked in to go in Feb to get to Turkey, so I am going.
Have you paid for it?
Huh?
Have you paid for it?
I don't have to pay for it.
Well, there you go. You're going to quit that, bro. You're going to just stay and bodybuild.
What are you getting done in Feb? Teeth or hair?
Teeth.
Penis.
Well, you're getting free teeth.
Yeah.
You're such a TikTok baller, bro. You need a teacher, man. I'm going to go live with Chud.
And my missus. I'll send you a lot of the thing, but I don't even know if I want to say too much, because like obviously I'm promoting them on my Instagram and that. But my missus is getting about 4 plastic surgeries and teeth and shit.
How about you bin your missus off? We'll be a gay couple for the weekend, and then I'll get teeth and hair.
Yeah, it's mental. So we're obviously going out there for 2 weeks in Feb, first week of Feb. So that's why I'm like, what do I do in that month to kind of get my physique back a little bit? because they're gonna want to record us like certain stuff. I don't want to be like fucking skinny. I want to put on at least 15 pounds.
That's an easy one for me. Insulin, growth hormone, and maybe just up the test a little bit and just slam the food. That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
I need to send you lots of pictures. Like the way I look now is fucking like stupid. Fucking just like, because I've never looked like that, you know. So it's hard for me to kind of comprehend because it's like just deflated.
I'll tell you what you could do as well. If you need everything to be in and out sharpish in terms of hormones, do you know if you need to be roughly baseline when you get some stuff done? Or you don't need to worry about how they are when you're there, do you?
No. I mean, I can grab
shit.
tests off the pharmacy there, can't I?
Yeah. I'd be smashing some test base into me ASAP with some Lantus and GH and going, boom.
Judge, you'll put on fucking £20 in 2 weeks, mate. Like, you've had the muscle there. You'll fly back on so quickly, it'll be scary.
I was tempted to put in prop, because I've been using E. I was tempted to just put prop and just pin every day.
I would keep the E in the background. I'd do test base pre-gym. I'd use high doses of GH and slin. And I'd maybe even be tempted with some DHB. See if you haven't played with it
yet. Or even a little bit of trend, like 100 meg. Surely it shouldn't be too bad.
Well, I'm just thinking, because we've still got to be considerate, because you've still got to be considerate with your hormones, with your hair recovery and stuff. The DHB really shouldn't spike anything, I don't think.
Do you not think? Because we did speak about it, didn't we? I'm not sure.
Yeah. From my reading, I don't think so. So if you were trying to play it safe with progesterone and prolactin and estrogen, then the only thing you've got to be considerate of is the sharp estrogen spikes from the test base. But because it's in and out so quick, I'm not sure how hard that will get.
Yeah.
You see,
I'm still using finasteride, so that shouldn't be too bad.
But if you want something, if you want the fastest transformation in 3 or 4 weeks, then you want test base, you want GH, and you want insulin.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I don't know if you could get like a DHT test, but obviously DHT, as it binds to the hair, is slightly different to your free DHT. So I don't know if there could be a test for that, to where I can go, how much finasteride do I need to use on a gram of test, you know?
Yeah.
I think Lantus, and then pre and post Nova Rapid. On top of that, what you want to do is just run your test as it is, and just run as much GH as you possibly can.
Mate, I'd be doing 10 hours a day. I'd be doing cheat meal a day as well post workout. It's like all you're looking for now is fullness back. Like you can eat. I would just slam the food in around that training window with the growth hormone and try and get as much fullness back as possible.
Like I said, I'm not fat, but I'm also not lean, because again, like, so I don't know if I could afford to eat.
You're actually just flat, bruv.
You'll recomp.
Probably.
You'll recomp anyway. Like that your recomp's going to happen naturally. Like the second you start putting food in, training, all that sort of stuff, the food will do the majority of the work, I believe, if you're not eating properly now.
Mate, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I went to see my mum. Went to see my mum. I got back. I didn't eat anything up until 5 o'clock. Literally all day long. I went not eating. I'm just like all day vaping, caffeine, and I just don't eat.
I didn't get it, man. I did like one day of like, we got cream tea in the morning, and then I had a sausage roll in the afternoon and then fish and chips. And I was like, how do fucking people live like this? Like, you just feel like fucking shit. Like, it's so weird.
I'll tell you why. Because when you're not, I said this to Ryan, because he's like, you've always been a big eater. How come you don't want to eat now? I'm like, I tell you why. Because I'm not training. If I'm not, because I always used to say that. I'm like, if I stop training, I'm not turning into a fat cunt. But for me, the training is a massive factor to my appetite. Yeah. If I'm not training, try not train for a week and see if you got appetite. I guarantee your appetite will go.
Yeah. I don't think I could do it. I just don't think I could stop training. It just gives me so much of a fucking relief mentally. I just don't think I could do it.
I've always been like that too, but ever since obviously the hair transplant, I kind of just like stopped training, and I'm like, just give my body a bit of a break.
That week I took off a couple of weeks ago made me twitchy as hell all week. I just felt, and I had loads of time though. I was like, well, I can get this done, but I was just edgy all the time. And you know when you're like, I was like, I'm bored, I've got nothing to do.
You spend money. You're like, oh, what should I do? I'll go and buy something or go shopping. Yeah. Like, there's nothing else to do to make up your time in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, come January 1st, it's gonna. I'll send you lots of pictures. You'll see, like my legs. Fuck me. I thought one of the things I'll never lose is my legs. My legs are fucking small. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Honestly, right now, to you, is your hair that important, bro?
Well, yeah and no. Like, I don't mind the bald, but I do want my hair. So it's like, I wouldn't necessarily take the piss with the anabolics. Like, I tell you what, I don't want to be 260, 270 anymore. I don't, because it's like, it just consumes my whole life. The way I had to like eat and the way I had to, I've got too much other shit going on to the point now I can't like give the gym and the eating 6 times a day that time. I just can't because I've got so much
Why
other
don't you
shit
eat 4
going on.
times a day and still
Huh?
bodybuild? Why
Yeah.
don't you eat 4 times a day?
Yeah, but as in with that, like if I can't eat enough food, then at that point, is there much point taking that much gear? There ain't.
There always is a point to take more gear.
So
Yeah.
Always.
yeah. So for me now, I just want to get my old physique back, which was around 250. 250 was like good, and I reckon I could maintain that pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like, I would happily go bold like Deck if I looked as Hench's Deck. Then that'd be cool.
It's
Yeah,
Give
but
me a
mind you,
compliment to them,
well,
prick.
competitively, I won't. I'm not going to do well in bodybuilding competitive because of that torn pec. I
But
never
bro,
will.
your torn pec ain't
They're not even
that bad,
those,
Yeah,
bro.
it
no.
is. Oh, it is.
Like, no offense to Hilly, Hilly's pec's bad.
Yeah, bad.
Hilly's pec's bad. Your pec's
Hilly's pec
mine.
is probably as bad as mine. I just hide mine in a way
Nah.
that you
No
can't see
way.
it.
But Hilly's
Nah.
got, looks like he's been shot. If I was Hilly, I'd tell people I got shot in the war.
I usually say shark bit me because I've got that big scar that runs down there. Kids are always impressed.
But I do agree with you, Chad. It's like, I think if I, that's not, I'm lying. Because if even I wasn't competing, I would still try and be 350 fucking pounds. Like, there's no way I still wouldn't be banging a gear.
Bro,
It's just
go on.
It's just where you get your amusement from, doesn't it? I need the amusement of always playing and experimenting with stuff. Like I love to be in the gym, but for me, it's what the gym does with the food does with the drugs do. So like, even if I said, right, I don't want to be any bigger and I don't want to compete anymore, then my mind would be like, right, so what can I do next? Let's see how lean I can get, only training 3 or 4 days of the week and only eating 4 meals a day. Right, from here, what can I do with drugs to do this? I have to have, what does this and this do? What does it create? And it's not about just the training for me. It's not about just the drugs for me. It's not that one thing can go away and the other focus. For me, the obsession is always, if I do, what does this and this equal? And then if I change that and that and that and that, what does it equal? That's the amusement for me. Some people don't have that. Some people just love the training.
Right? So like training for me, I could train 6 days a week. That's not an issue. I haven't got time restrictions as far as kids. Like, yeah, I've got a son, but like it's different. His mum has it most of the time. Like when I do have him, it's kind of on my terms. When I can train as much as I want. I don't have to go to a full-time job. Like some people, I can train whenever I want. I can do whatever I want. It's more just about enjoying it. And it's like, I just don't feel like the way I was about it last year and the effort I was putting into it last year is I'm prepared to put in that much effort again to progress.
Right, do you just want me to go beat Louis up for ruining it for you?
Huh?
Should I just beat Louis up for ruining it for you? I'll fuck him up, just say a word. I'll kidnap him and put him in the boot.
But bro, I think you're saying that because obviously I know you're not doing it on purpose. You've had one prep, your first prep in essence, go pretty bad, yeah? It doesn't matter whose fault it is, end of the day, yeah?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's knocked you a little bit, bro.
Oh, 100%. Ever since that prep, I was like, I don't even want to go to the fucking gym now. But
yeah, I felt that though. I had that last time, and I didn't have a bad prep, Chuds. Like I felt that last time. Like I was planning to run shows, but it was just more of a case of like when it doesn't go your way and you expect it to go your way, you just kind of lose the motivation for it, and it takes a while to get it back. You know, it's just one of those things, and it's the hardest thing. Like you said, you know, when you feel like deflated, the most difficult part is getting back in the gym for 2 weeks and eating and seeing it all come to fruition again. That's the hardest part.
this is exactly it. Because like I said to you a lot, didn't I? I walked into the gym like last week. It was because I was still going. So I went in today. Like I just did 20 minutes of cardio. That's all I'll do. I'm not training. I just go in there, do 20 minutes of cardio, and I'll walk out. And I see this kid. I used to help him, and he goes, "Oh mate, you look good." He said, "You're dieting." I'm like, "Fucking bastard." I'm like, "You said you look healthy." I'm like, that just means like you look fucking small. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? It's like, and that is like, it just, your body's not like, you don't have a pump. You can't get it. And when I do train, you can't get a pump. It's like, that is the most difficult part to getting back into it.
But that's fixable though, Chud. You're smart enough and you know the ins and outs well enough to know how you fix that. The biggest thing is to get back on top of eating properly and then get back in the gym.
I can't lie, honest to God, that Alpha Neon Pump TF pre-workout, yeah? On my mother's life, that has got to be the best pre in the whole fucking UK, yeah? When it comes to just straight pump, yeah? Non-stim. bro. My arm
Which
feels like it's
one?
gonna blow. The Alpha Neon Pump the fuck. It's got 10,000 milligrams of glycerol in it.
Oh yeah.
Mate, that is fucking nasty, bro. Yeah, I feel like my arm is gonna blow the fuck up. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
And bro, I have really shit connection with my arms, yeah. But bro, when I do biceps and that, I feel like I just want to carry on training. Do you know what I mean?
It's
Interesting.
there's no company that's able to get the glycerol to be stable in a powder form without clumping up to the point that it ruins the whole pre-workout. He's the only person to do it, and it is fucking phenomenal. But the
Yeah.
swologenic stuff as well is amazing. That's crazy.
He's been helping me with my pre-formula that will be releasing soon anyway. So he's a very, 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 very clever man. Extremely fucking clever.
Yeah.
We'll
I was gonna
roll
say-
lines of your pre-workout for fun.
I was gonna say something. You know, I'm the only like bodybuilder in my gym now that trains there like fully. Yeah. Someone come up to me and he goes, "Oh, bro, you're quite big, you know." And I was like, I've waited my whole life for someone to say that to me, right? He was like, "Oh, bro, you're pretty big, you know. You're probably bigger than that." And I was like, "Bro," he goes, "Your legs are massive." I goes, "You see my mate back Palmer?" And I just started ripping myself to the fucking ground. I goes, "Listen, mate." I goes, "You not see big?" And then I just started. He gave me a compliment, and I started ripping him. I was like, "You ain't got a clue what you're talking about."
Hey, don't forget, we've got to say thank you to the guy that keeps putting the timestamps on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Big up my
legend.
man. Bro, message me. I'll send you a free bottle of L-carnitine if you're from the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, we always like note the timestamps. We never actually follow through and put them. It just gets lost in the chat.
Gets lost in translation. Yeah, I suppose this is our final episode before Christmas, isn't it? We should do a big fucking Merry Christmas and tell everybody how to
Yeah.
spend their Christmas Day and Boxing Days.
Yeah, what I think you should all do is go to the gym, because go to the gym and act like you're hardcore.
What are you all doing on Christmas Day? Let's do everybody. What's everybody doing?
Fuck all. Just sit at home.
No plans, Chuds?
I'm with the fam, man.
What can you do?
We got, obviously, I got the little one now. Food.
Be your
Just
first
food.
trip to honeymoon.
Do people in
Yeah,
caravans?
so obviously my brother's got a little one as well. So yeah, we put the caravans around in a circle, and then we set fire in the middle, and then we just cook a spit roast on it.
Is
And
what
then,
you're doing?
then afterwards, we get drunk and then fight each other bare knuckles.
Because we're doing, we're going to go see my mum on bank holiday instead, because that's the day all my family are off. Dee was like, "Shall we do something together?" And I was like, "Nah, I'll just eat my normal food." She goes, "Don't you like my food?" And I was like, I was like, "Well, I can't bother to make turkey, Dee, because if you make turkey, you'll be in the kitchen all fucking day. Fucking, what you do when you have to keep putting the water on top of it again?
Basting it.
Yeah.
Basting it.
Fuck that, bro. People buy turkey, yeah, for like £80, and they baste it to the point it takes that chicken in. You just buy the fucking chicken. You basically buy turkey to make it taste like chicken. It's such a shit meat, bro. So
And the
dry.
thing is, also, if it's just you and D, or it's just like
What are you doing,
it's
Hilly?
just like you and your missus, what's the point?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't get Aralina back till about 1:30. So I think for the first time in my life, I'm actually going to go to the gym on the morning. Ultraflex is open. Ultraflex is open 9 till 12, and I'll have nothing to do. Like, my mum and my brother and his girlfriend will be at their house, but I'm going there for dinner with Aralina as soon as I pick Aralina up. So
Yeah.
I'll be up at like 6 or 7 as normal with nothing to do. So Ultraflex is open 9 till 12. So I think I'm just going to get up, do my cardio, and then I'll go up there and train just to pass some time. Come back. All the Aralina's presents are sorted. Here, lads, did you see my Instagram post of the day, by the way? Have you ever wrapped presents before?
Nah.
It's
Mate,
hard
that
work,
shit
mate.
That shit is 37 years and I've managed to avoid wrapping presents, right? But my mum's doing the main presents for Aralina, so they look nice. But I got the stocking fillers and stuff, so I was like, you know what it is? I'll be a grown-up and I'll have a go at this. Riz, honestly, mate, they look like gear packages, but worse. Like, I couldn't get the paper size right, then they're fucking all over. I was getting so annoyed as well. I was like, why do these look like shit?
Why do you put in Jiffy bag?
Yeah, I should have. Honestly, I sat there and I thought, I've never really appreciated how nice presents I've got before are wrapped and the effort people have put in, because that shit is hard work.
Do you want me to give you a few tips, Hilly?
Mate, there's people that actually have like wrapping companies. People will pay someone to wrap their presents.
The
Go on,
top,
Dick.
the top tips are you only buy things that offer a gift wrapping service, or
Yeah. Well, that's what I know, yeah.
or you do everything like a cracker. So you wrap it up and you twist the ends and you tape it and you're done.
Yeah, I need to do that next year. Fucking hell.
Hey,
Yeah, I must have wrapped 6 or 7 presents, and I was like, I managed to get one that looked half decent, so I could at least take a picture and be like, look at this, I wrapped a decent present. The rest looked like it was just fucking bottles of gear in an envelope, you know, with the sellotape on the top of that bit.
Just look on YouTube, like wrapping tutorials.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get. Well, next year I'll just get someone to do them all. I think. Thankfully, our lady's not old enough to notice. She doesn't give two tits, so it's not like she's only going to rip them up. But anyway, so it doesn't matter to her.
Mate, the amount of like we went into like Matland or whatever, and she's like, she's like, oh, shall I get this paper or that paper? I'm like, who gives a fuck? It goes in the bin anyway.
Man, I had this
Nah,
conversation.
bro. Unless you're D or my sister, they keep the fucking wrapper paper. They open it nicely and keep it, bro.
And do what with it?
Yeah, what do they do with it?
Use it again.
You calling me a monkey?
Bro,
Honestly, as I was wrapping these presents and they looked worse and worse, I was just having flashbacks to receiving like really nice gifts off people that are like all matching wrapping paper and fucking ribbons and bows on, and I was like, you horrible bastard, you've never appreciated the effort that people have put into wrapping those fucking presents.
I've never wrapped a present in my life for anyone.
Up until last night, I hadn't either. And my mum's done them, or whatever girlfriend I had at the time's done them, or I used to go into like shops and get the old ladies to do it for me.
Who's making the scram foot at your house, Hilly? Your mum?
My mum and my brother will be doing dinner, yeah. So I don't even, for the first time in a long time, I don't even need to do a Christmas food shop. I've just got to rock up with my mum's and dinner will be there. Fucking happy days.
Do you not actually do Christmas presents like proper expensive and that?
Yeah, well, I say that this year for the first time, obviously, because I think everyone's struggling with money. We all got new kids and stuff. We did like a secret Santa between like all of us, so everyone gets like one big present, if that makes sense, and then nobody else gets them. And all the kids and stuff get presents. So that's the way we're doing it this year. But normally, yeah, I go a bit bananas.
Yeah, but like, what do you mean like proper expensive? Like what? Like so,
like 80 quid.
No, like,
80
the budget.
Like, I'm not being a dick here. Like, I messaged Hilly like about 2 weeks ago. I goes, bro. I goes, why do people? I goes, can you explain to me something, bro? Because obviously he's white, and I thought he might know the answer. I goes, why do people spend so much money in Christmas, and then the rest of the year they're struggling to pay lecky and shit?
And then people are just fucking silly.
I think it's stupid. For the kids, I get it. So like, I said to like my ex, I said, look, buy him whatever presents you want, and I'll just give you half. Just tell me what it costs, and I'll just send you half the money. And that's how we've done it. My missus, I just said to her, look, because she wanted to do this course, $2,000. I said, like, here, I'll pay for that course. So I'll give her $2,000 for that course. That was it, right? But apart from that, I ain't buying no other cunt no presents. My mum, I'm getting my mum a present, and that's it.
Well, what I used to say, if I had a girlfriend at the time, I'd be like, listen, instead of me trying to guess something that you want or think, we would give money, and then we would book a night away between Christmas and New Year, and then we would go shopping, because you'll get twice as much for your money as you will in the sales. And girls always want to pick their own shit anyway, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, as a boy, unless you've been making notes all year and you've been holding off on something special, like the chances are you're going to buy the wrong thing anyway, aren't you? So that always made sense to me.
I like buying
unless
presents.
it's something that's actually... Huh?
I like buying presents, but in my head, I think I'm really good at picking presents, but I'm actually fucking terrible. But in my head, I'm really good, so I like buying presents.
The thing is, though, I said to her, I don't want no fucking presents. And I said to my mum as well. My mum's like, what shall I get you? I'm like, I don't want nothing. It's like, if I want something, I'm not waiting. I'm fucking buying it. Do you know what I mean? I've got everything I fucking want.
I would usually ask, so like Charlotte used to moan, because I would usually ask for stuff that I wouldn't buy myself because I thought it was stupid. So like, one year I got Charlotte to get me, do you know them Fit Mark bags? They're like the meal prep bags.
Yeah.
They did a big hold all that was like 140 quid, and it's got space for 2 meals in the bottom, space for like, do you know, if you're going away for 2 or 3 days, space for your laptop and that. Perfect thing for us travelling, because I can have my meal prep bag on with meals in, and I can get another 2 meals in that. But there's no way I would justify spending 130 quid on it. So that for me, I'd be like, Charlotte was like, this is literally the worst present I've ever fucking bought anybody. But for me, it wasn't something nice or expensive one, because if I want something nice, I'll buy it myself.
Yeah.
It was something that I wouldn't spend 140 quid of my own money on, but it was something that I like. I think I've had it 3 years, and literally, if I go away anywhere for the weekend, that's what I take, because I can get all my clothes in it, my gym stuff, my laptop, my supplements, and a couple of meals in it. It's fucking ideal. But I would have never used 140 quid of my own money, because I would see it as a waste.
The best present he ever got me was a gym. Do you know the sheet gym ball?
Yeah.
I've still got it 8 years later. and it still
Even,
works the same.
like everyone says, like, oh, you buy everything for yourself. It's difficult to buy you a present, mate. Buy me a tub of protein, and I'm happy, or a tub of pre-workout, I'm happy. Like, it's not fucking hard for a bodybuilder. Just buy me a pair of wraps or something. I don't really care. Like, it's more the thought of something I'm actually going to use. You know?
I must be proper old now because now I actually I would like the idea of getting loads of socks because I hate buying socks for myself. That's something
Socks
I
and
know.
pants, mate. Socks and
Yeah.
pants.
Well,
For
that's
me, I
it.
like to,
They're expensive, bro, as well.
yeah, they're not
Fuck
fucking
me, they
cheap.
are, mate.
The other thing is, I wouldn't want anybody wasting a lot of money buying me something. I would rather get myself something that's expensive and they keep their money for themselves. But I think
Yeah.
what you were saying is, Rich, a lot of people in this day and age like to buy expensive things for people and take pictures of it and put on Instagram, don't they?
Yeah.
Stuff either they can't afford or I even know some people that buy their partners fake stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like, listen, everybody knows you can't afford a fucking £3,000 bag, so what you fucking lying for in the first place? Do you know, like,
Yeah.
it's just stupid stuff, and it's just to put a picture on Instagram of shit, but that's just a new fad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, one year, I think it was last year or the year before, when I got your brother the Xbox, and he was like 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, Dee was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I was like, "Oh," and I was like, "I'm gonna get a PlayStation." She's like, "I already got you it," and I was like, "I already bought it." And then she was like, "I'll get you the Xbox." I goes, "I already got it." I goes, "I already got it." And she goes, "You're gonna have to sell it to Hilly's brother." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I goes, "Nah." So I sold it and I bought myself another one anyway. Do you know what I mean? I don't really like presents myself.
No, I don't. No.
I don't either, really, to be
And
honest.
I
I'm a
don't
weirdo,
like to
mate.
wait for shit. So if I want something, I'll just fucking buy it.
I find it awkward someone
Mate.
getting me a present.
Yeah.
It's ever since I was a kid, because I came from like a broken home. Like when I was like got involved with Daisy's family, they're like a proper like textbook nice sweet family. But I used to have to take their presents, go upstairs and open them on my own because I can't stand people watching me open presents. I can't deal with it. It fucking freaks me out. I'm proper weird about it.
Yeah.
I hate surprises and I hate surprise birthdays and I hate surprise presents. I fucking hate it, bro.
Yeah, me too.
I just like the food,
Is that
bro.
yeah, all about the food. I'd rather go somewhere nice and do something big and social than spend money on presents.
Mate, that's my favourite is Christmas Eve. Me and Days, we always go to like there's a posh Italian up by us. We go there in the afternoon, and then in the evening I cook chicken and stuff and sandwiches, and we just watch Christmas films, mate. That's the best day of the year for me.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
And this year I spent loads of money getting Arlene stuff, and all she will do is play the boxes.
Yep.
Yeah, same as her birthday. We just pulled the biggest box out, and she coloured it in, and then I had to hide in the box with her, so I had like my head and my shoulders in the box while we watched the film, and she didn't really touch any of her fucking presents for weeks. I thought, you fucking winding me up here. Right, boys, is that us done?
Right, lad. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to everybody that watches.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Everybody.
Christmas to everyone who
And make
watches.
sure like and subscribe to the video.
Yeah, make sure you like and
If
subscribe.
you've got this far, please follow Alpha Neon, follow Different Breed, follow the gym,
Muscle Shed.
the Muscle
Muscle
Shed.
Shed.
Yeah, sorry, JJ, I'm sorry. Follow everyone, use all the discount codes. We don't get a kickback. We genuinely just support these companies. We don't get anything
Exactly.
in return.
Yeah, man.